What's up, everybody? I am Art Lead, bringing you another episode in the game of Vanished. Now, this is going to be a little bit different than the last episode. The last episode, I was starting a world and 1.5 newly released New Frontier version of Colonial Charter Mod. This episode is going to be the start of a new series within the beta version of 1.6 Colonial Charter Mod. Now, this version of the mod has not been released, so some of the stuff you may see is probably not in the version of the mod you're playing, unless you're a beta tester. There are a few of you guys out there that may be watching this, but for the most part, some of this stuff's going to be completely new. I'm actually going to showcase a lot of that new stuff, but for the most part, it's going to be a me game, playing the way I normally play, with the mods I normally play with. So let's jump in and get started. First of all, let's start with the maps. So, start a new game here. Pick a town name. I like to let the game pick the town name because sometimes you get some really funny ones. So I'm going to go ahead and click through until I find something interesting. Like Townville. That's funny. Finwicket. Keiths. I love the names this game comes up with. I like short names, so I'm hoping for something really short, maybe with no more than about 6 letters. There we go, Kern. No, I don't like that. Chesney, Shore Evil, Shoreville, maybe that's what that is. Dude, seriously? Big Fordton, Duffy, Skolbelby, Ketting. Come on, give me something neat. Sorry it's taking so long, but I'd like to have a good name for my town. Most people don't even pay attention to the name of their town. I actually do. So, I'm hoping to find a decent one. Ah, that sounds good. Join with an E. Map seed. Now, this has no bearing on what type of map you're going to get. But I kind of have a little superstition, if you will, about map types. So, I won't play a map if the first number is greater than 5. So I'm going to flip through this. That looks good. I feel even better if there are less than 9 numbers in the map number. Go figure. It has no bearing on the map itself. It probably makes no difference. But in my head, you know, that's the way I roll. So here's a nice short one. We've got 8 digits and it starts with a 4. Now, terrain type. Here's something that's actually new in 1.6, coming to you soon, probably on a Tuesday. Anyway, terrain types. We've got 2 new terrain types coming soon. The first one is marsh, which is the one we're going to be playing with, and the other one is water world, which I'm not going to be playing with, but when you see some of the new features that are in 1.6, you'll understand why we have these 2 new terrains. Marsh is a lot of lakes and a lot of islands, more water than land ratio. There tends to be more water. The lakes are not as big as say they are in lake waters, but they're numerous. So water world is exactly that. It is a world that is probably 87% water. The land literally rings around the edge of the map and there's a massive lake in the middle. You know, some people think that's great, but you'll see when I start using some of the new features in 1.6 why these maps really stand out and really go with a lot of those new features. So I'm going to go ahead and click on marsh. Terrain size for me is always going to be large. Since it's a marsh, I doubt it snows. It usually does not snow in a mouse, so I'm going to go with marine, no snow. And I'm going with marine because everything grows in marine. There are a few climate types where there is no snow, but you have to use certain types of crops, usually called hot crops. that will only grow in those particular environments. Disasters are on, and I'm going to use starting conditions hard because I kind of want to get the game moving. I don't want to start up really slow, then Adam and Eve, and that will take forever. And I do not use any aging mods like 1 year is 1 year, because to me that would drive me nuts. So let's go ahead and jump into this one. Join map seed 434-77603. Terrain type is marsh. Terrain size is large. Climate is marine. Disasters are on. And starting conditions are hard. Let's go. All right, so here we are in our new map. We're gonna have a look around the map first. See what this is what I meant by there are many lakes, but they're not very big. These are probably some of the smallest lakes you're gonna see, but you see there are a ton of them, just a ton. Now, let's have a look at the mini map. We'll get a better perspective of the map we're actually dealing with, and we can find where our rivers are. So, here's our mini map. We spawned here, and as you can see, there is a lot more water to land ratio. Mountains ring the edge of the map, which is kind of important if you're a person who still uses the mines, within Colonial Charter. You'll want to know that if you have this particular map chosen, you're going to have to put your mines along the edge of the map, because that's the only place where the mountains are. Every now and then you'll get a map that has some islands that do have mountains on them, mini mountains, where you can actually put your mines or your bank barns on. But for the case of this map, if you want to use a bank barn or a mine or anything that requires a hill, you're actually going to have to go to the edge of the map. So now that we know what our map looks like and where we are in relation to everything, I want to see where my river is. It starts right near where we are, goes right past where we are, and comes down this way all the way to the bottom of the map. So anywhere on these little islands, if I put my people, I can have access to traders. We're going to kind of stay over here near this wall, and eventually we're going to spread down this way. Now, I'm one of those people that never fills in a map. There's some people, they have to fill every single inch of the map. I don't feel obligated to do that. So when I do start really building out, I'm probably going to go down and to the left here, and then possibly up and to the left. This would be a good place for like farms and whatnot. But we'll see. We'll see. There's sometimes I play a game and I have 1 or 2 farms, and it's usually to produce goods to trade for other stuff, and I buy all my food. This may be one of those maps. All right, so let's get started. We see where our people are. I've got 2 lakes here, really, really close. A couple of creeks. River comes through here. I've got a little mini lake here. I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put my fishing. There's an island right here, and I like to kind of put the fishing off on an island because then you have the chance that there's more water behind it. more water for your fishing dock, more fish they're gonna bring in. So I'm going to make this my mainland, I think. So before I do anything, let me get all of the items I need on the screen. So I'm going to need the name of the map. Now I like to have this up. Some people don't care one way or the other. I like to have that up. I'd like to have my log events, and I usually put that down here in the left hand corner. And then I need my professions list. I go with the vertical with scrolling. That generally goes right under here. And this gap here is going to be for when I build my town hall. I can put my town inventory right there. That's all I have on my screen. These are all the menus that I need. So now that I have the menus, let's go ahead and set the speed. I'm going to set it to 5. 5 is a good speed. I don't like 10 because that's too fast, and 2 is too slow. So let's work with this little island here. We could do a footbridge. All right, I see how it's going. So some people start with a hunter or a gatherer. I like to start with a fisherman. I do have a fishing mod. Now I will freely admit that I have a fishing mod. There's nothing wrong with doing it without a fishing mod. Where you put your fishing dock is really important if you don't use a fishing mod. Like I said, the more water your fishing dock has access to, the more fish they're going to bring in. With a fishing mod, sometimes it doesn't matter. But I still like to get it with as much water as possible around it, because then I can really bring in enough food for my people to survive the first few years without putting down plants or having orchards or livestock. So we're going to put that there. And because it is on a little bit of an island, we're going to need a little footbridge, and I like to use the tiny creek plank bridge because this is a creek. So we're going to cross that creek there, and because it's such a tiny island, I'm going to use Red Ketchup's barns because he has a very tiny barn. I like to keep a barn as close to my fishing dock as possible. The closer they are to a place to drop off the food, the more food they'll collect faster. So this needs to be flattened. I'm going to grab my flattening tool. You notice there are 2 flattening tools. If you haven't played 1.5 yet, you probably wonder, what is this second flattening tool? This is the power tool. This flattens everything, including mountains with trees on top. So when you use this flattening tool, you do not get the resources that are on the land that you flatten. So if you flatten an area that happens to have a whole bunch of iron, and you need iron, you're probably going to want to grab that regular flattening tool. You will get those resources. If you use the power tool, you won't get them. So I'm going to put that there. And they kind of need to, my people are going to have to come in and remove these reeds so we can flatten that out. I actually could go ahead and use the power tool. This is what the power tool does. See, there's reeds here. And I need this flattened. And I don't care that I'm not getting the reeds. I'm going to go ahead and flatten it. Those reeds just disappear. So now I'm going to lay down my red ketchup barn. Okay. Put a road in front of it. My little bridge is right here. I'm probably gonna put down some walkway here. There we go. And let's throw down some salt boxes. I like the salt box house. This is one of my favorite houses that's been added to the game. So let's kind of salt box. Where's my bridge again? I think I want to move my bridge over. I want the bridge to go right between these salt box houses. Where is it? So we're going to start here. Uh-oh. That's not going to work. Yeah, these bridges don't like to be placed if there's land there. I mean, if there's road there. So, now I can put it there. I don't know why. There we go. There you go. I'm not going to build this other house yet. The most important thing to have built right now is going to be this bridge, because then we can start producing food. So I'm going to pause the barn. The bridge I'm not going to pause. And the fishing dock I'm not going to pause. Now, I believe the house is here. Have that come out like that. They're gonna come in and put in this road. You can't pause roads, unfortunately. So put another house there. Pause it. And what else can I put there? I don't want to taint this water with any buildings. Again, that's gonna affect the fish coming into it. So, these are where my people are. I'm going to need a woodcutter. So I'm actually going to put in a mini woodcutter. So, a little chopping building. I'll put you over there, because you're probably living in one of these houses. Pause that. And the last thing I need is a stockpile. So we're going to put stockpile right on the road. That's a decent size. Now, before I get started, I want to tell them to get resources first. So let's get some trees. They're gonna need trees, so let's get the trees. There's some stone here we're gonna get. And here's some iron. It's not a lot of iron, but it's enough. And yes, I do all of this before I actually start gameplay. For the benefit of this series, I'm probably going to use 10 speed often, so you can see things progress a little bit faster until the game actually starts to slow down, or I get a new video card. One of the two. So, getting close to the end of the episode, so I'm going to go ahead and get this started. We'll finish out with this mini village, and in the next episode, I'll show you how I start my town center. I actually started a little bit earlier than most folks, so that'll probably be interesting to see. So, for the meantime, I'm going to sit back and let you guys watch these people do their thing. Enjoy!